Hello. I had some things I wanted to say that really came down on me today in my thoughts about what I'm going through, and maybe some others have too on here. And I think that the message that I'm getting is more important than maybe you will originally want to take it. I mean, I don't know. You don't have to believe anything I say, but I really think that that this one is important because my son said something the other day. He was saying, if we were to be taken over as a country, if somebody was to come in and take us over as a country, they would have to do it through the internet or the banking system, something like that. That it wouldn't be like with guns and ammunition, it would be done electronically, hurting our relationships. That's a big deal. Okay. So focusing on relationships. And I've written some things down too that I think, are going to maybe hopefully help me articulate what it is I'm trying to say. Where we spend so much time online, we spend so much time online, and we hardly ever have our faces out of our phones, and it's becoming so normal, and we're not really engaging as much as we used to. Our values in some ways have changed. It's getting as much one-on-one time, and it really does affect our relationships, and the world is shifting. It's not getting any better, it's getting worse. But I want to talk about as we evolve and with the power of the internet, it's so much easier to have negative influence permeate subtly into our lives without us even paying attention. And I want to try to figure out how to say this properly. Yes, there's certain things that we're expected to do in society that, to be held at high esteem. We're educated, we work, support our families, we, try to be good citizens, right? We're good neighbors, we help each other. But some of those values have really slipped away, and it seems to be all focused on money, and to where money is the model of success. It isn't having a healthy relationship. It isn't having a healthy family. It's what you can get. And some of the ways that money is being earned is by monetizing human beings. Because we're online, we're sharing our talents, we are sharing our thoughts and what we think, Everything we say has the potential of being monetized in some way, right? And our energy is being used, for our thoughts and ideas, and and our talents, which is really critical, that to have someone that wants to pretend like they're you, or to steal your talents, or to monetize their lives based on your creations. And that's happening to me, is, very specifically right now. And there's something to consider that I feel like I need to put this out there. Let's say, hypothetically, you've got this really cool guru that everybody knows him, they love him, he's helped so many people, everybody just thinks so good of him, right? And this could be in actual community, it could be on an app, this could be in any kind of setting, like at your job, where there's this one person that everybody just has something, they're just a great guy, and so you tend to listen to them. Or this guy is a doctor, or this guy is a lawyer, or he's accomplished. And so we revere them because they are so accomplished. Well, our society has become so entrained, and it is entrained to esteem these people that are at a higher level than we are. So we respect them, we look up to them, they have something to teach us. We want to listen to them and give them the respect, for their knowledge and experience. And we're forgetting that no matter what lesser experience that we had, like we might not be we don't know, we're not doctors, but we are not, but we are living and experiencing things every day. If you've raised a child, you probably know quite a bit about nursing. You might know more about, if you've ever had an illness, you know a lot about the medical profession and what's kind of going on there. We have these life experiences that teach us and give us a lot more credibility in our knowledge than we're giving ourselves credit for. And just because somebody has a degree or they're this, that, and the other, doesn't mean that they believe in God. It doesn't mean that they don't lie. It doesn't mean that they don't use their titles and positions to get one over on people because they have these positions. Therefore, you must respect me. Well, the thing is that because we are not looking at the situations that we get ourselves in very closely, because we think, oh, this is a really awesome person. We all do it, Well, look what they've accomplished. They must be awesome, right? But we don't really know what's actually happening behind the scenes. We need to vet everyone, not based, and we need to respect or value or trust people based on their behavior and their actions more than what they do for a living. What they do for a living doesn't tell you anything about maybe they went to school and they worked really hard and they did that. But it doesn't mean that makes them automatically this God-fearing, amazing person that's never gonna do anything wrong. Because in fact, at the more of a higher level emotionally, egotistically that they get, the more they can become pretty skewed in their self grandiosity, let's say. And so, and they think that once they get to a higher psychological level of this grandiosity, that they're above reproach. They can break the law, they can do whatever they want. Okay, so let's take, for instance, one of the subjects that's going on in government right now. For whatever reason, people in government think that they can get, stock secrets, and that's perfectly okay, and they can get greater returns than the average citizen can. Now, I don't know about you, but these people were elected there. They shouldn't have a privilege of being able to get any special information on the stock market that the rest of us don't have. Some people go to jail for getting those stock, trade secrets, but the rest of us can't have them. So, and I want you to pay attention to these little teeny tiny things that are happening right under our noses. Okay, so this isn't like the way this world is going, and I want you to really think now. Really, really think. Now, you might make good money. You might have a good job. You might not be a millionaire, but you're making good money. And let's say this politician or this celebrity comes in and says, what, so-and-so is like, we got to do something about that, right? And they're thinking, well, this is a really esteemed person. So first of all, I'm at least going to listen, right, what they have to say. But I know so-and-so. And so I'm like, really? I've never known that person to be like that. And they're going to be like, well, but let me tell you this, this is, what's going on. And all this time, you're becoming groomed. You're becoming groomed to an idea about a person, place, or a thing. And it's a bias. They're trying to create an unfair opinion or bias against a person, group, place, thing, so that you make judgments, right and wrong judgments based on somebody else's shenanigans, somebody else's brainwashing. We want you to believe this because it's us and we are this, and you should believe us because, we are so educated and so esteemed in the land. But these feelings that these people have that are in that mindset, it's a very dangerous place to be, not just for the people around them. It's dangerous for them because they seem to think that they are above the law, that they can just do whatever they want to do, and that everybody just has to go along with it. And so here we are, the layman folk, right? We're out here living the best lives we can live, and at any point in time, somebody can up and decide that you are something that you're not, and that because they caught you doing something wrong one time, and like in your past when you were a kid, or they caught you doing something you shouldn't have been doing that your parents probably taught you to do in the first place, that they're gonna take that little thing, that little teeny tiny fault in you, and they're gonna grow it to be this ginormous, huge issue. And they're gonna use that to play people against you for a purpose. Usually it has something to do with money, a talent, something about you that can be monetized. You know, and so as much as it is fortunate in ways that we have the internet, because we can get a lot of information, you know, quickly and effectively, there's a danger in this too, because you never know when you and your personality and your talents are going to be exploited, and everybody's going to have that experience at some level and at some point in their life. So now I want to adjust your thinking a little bit more. Okay, so let's say that you've been groomed to think that this person or this idea is not so great, you know, it isn't good, or it is good, you know, or whatever, you know, you're being groomed to think a certain thing. What happens is that these people that are in this higher authority, that have this mindset of being grandiose, and we are over the masses. You are cattle, we are government, you know, we can do whatever we want. And see, there's these little hierarchies within our families and in our towns and in our states. There's a hierarchy of power, right? It reminds me of that movie, The Lord of the Flies. If you haven't seen that movie, you should watch it really seriously, because it's very pertinent to this. It's you know, that story was about these boys that were on an island, and, you know, there were no adults, there were just kids, and they had to have a leader or they would starve to death. They had to figure out a way to get shelter and food and clean water, all of these things. And so, but this one kid decided that he wanted to be the leader, not the one that was really the leader in the group in the first place, who was a really good kid. This other guy got a really big ego for maybe he killed a pig or something, and they had food, you know, so they decided to make him the leader because he killed the pig and they had the food, something like that. Anyway, he ends up starting to kill people that won't align with him being the boss. Okay, I'm the boss. Okay, you don't listen to that guy anymore. I'm not in charge. If you want to live, you have to follow me. And so this has been, that movie shows you the structure of government and the great big picture and scheme of things, right? Is that, you know, it's whoever is the strongest, whoever has the most money and the most power wins. And you need to suck it up or you're going to starve. So basically that is exactly what's going on in our government and in our United States. And we need to start paying attention, because, you know, the most dangerous criminal in our world is a white collar criminal. The people that have the education, they have the arrogance, and they have the ability and the backup with other arrogant people to do these things when you're not paying attention. And the thing is this is a very insidious evil. This is so insidious, and it's been happening. It used to be just a little bit at a time, but now it's like a lot of all the time. They're pulling and pulling and pulling out of us. And it's really important, I think, for me to tell you, if somebody is grooming you, you need to stand aware. Okay, are they telling me facts or are they grooming me? Ask questions. If somebody is just out of the blue really looking into somebody, or they're really asking questions about someone, or just, you know, something's just a little off, don't be afraid to say, what's all that about? You know, what's going on? You know, but to try to, the best you can, to find out things for yourself. Don't, you know, because they're, you know, in a world of competition and jealousy, which is a whole other subject, is competition. I would want to talk about that at some point. But each one of us have this inalienable right to live in a free, I mean, we fought for this. We're supposed to have a free society, but we really are not free, because we are being infringed upon constantly, and we don't even know. And so every time you go out of your way to help somebody you think is of great standing, great moral character, and great standing, you don't know for sure. I mean, you hope that they're legit. But for instance, there's something that you would know, you know, really cut and dry. If you're getting some bennies, money, job, opportunity, if you're getting some benefits from doing something for somebody else in their agenda, that you need to, that you want to help them because you like them and you want to be in the in group. You want to be accepted. You don't want to be left without the food and starve. So you think about it and you think, okay, well, maybe that's okay. But the thing is that before you know it, you're completely brainwashed. You're completely messed up. You have a skewed view of how things really are. You don't know what to believe and who's telling the truth. But you could find out, you could stop and say, okay, well, I'm going to go find this out for myself, and just see, go talk to the person, find out what they have to say for themselves about the situation. Go directly to the source that's being talked about would be a place to start, first of all. But my point is, let's say you are getting these benefits. And so you went and you slandered somebody or said something or did an action to support the agenda of this person that has influenced you. Now, we all have influencers, right? We have influencers online. We've always had influencers that are on TV and in our community that tell us what to do or what's cool, what's not cool. Media is the worst example of influencing us, telling us, well, if you're this race, then you're supposed to act like this. And if you're like this, you're supposed to be like that. They tell you, what society or a worldly view of what you should be. We say we fight for religion and the freedom to choose our politicians and all of that. But are we really having that freedom? Because I'm experiencing, because of my own beliefs and understanding of spiritual things, being ridiculed for my beliefs in a religious society where I am a religious person too. And so, but it could be the most peculiar things that somebody all of a sudden stands up against you, and it has nothing to do with anything, but they want you to look like you're small and they're big. You're small, they're big. And you think, oh, well, if I go with the big guys, then I'm not going to be a small person anymore. I'm going to be a big person. Well, what happens when that big person gets caught? When they get caught breaking the law, what happens? And you were this little person, and you wanted to you were a little petty thief. They're in white collar crime. They're a big thief, and you're doing a little petty crime with them while they're doing their big crimes. Because, my friends, or not, whether you are or you're not, this is the truth, and it's high time that we just stop a minute and we think, this influencing, this, we've been trying to protect our children from negative influences from TV for who knows how long. We were, trying to protect our children, right? And yet we're not even protecting ourselves from this brainwashing that we're supposed to believe a certain thing because so-and-so up here who's accomplished all of these things says so, without even going checking the facts. We don't even bother with the facts because so-and-so must know because they're this. I mean, I'm being straight with you. I want you to really consider what it is I'm saying, because you could be making your $100,000 a year, living the way you're a pretty nice life, right? But you're not wealthy, but you're like this, and you're thinking, hey, I'm doing pretty good, so I'm going to play with the big guys, right? But really, you're just a middle-class American, and there is no honor among thieves. There's no honor among thieves. They will attack you too. They will, and so you need to be able to have the foresight and the intellectual fortitude and responsibility to vet things before you just fall for the mass defamation approach. And I hope you really take it seriously, because this is a very pertinent subject, because whether you realize it or not, there's people in this country right now that are doing the same brainwashing, camouflaging to you right now. We're going to lose our country and our freedoms simply because we're not paying attention to these people that say that they have all of the knowledge, and we are not privy to that. And we don't have the power to do anything about it, but we do. We actually do, by saying things like this, by saying, we realize that you're trying to control us. And even though you're saying these words, we need to go find out what they really are saying. What are they really standing for? What's really going on? Because honestly, it's too important for us to keep our blinders on. We don't want to see what's really going on out there. You know, we're doing what somebody else is influencing us to do and not getting our own information. And you have a brain between these two ears. And it's really important for your own sake, not just for me, not for your neighbors, but for yourself. You owe it to yourself to make sure that your leaders and that people in your community and your family and your society, that you understand where they're coming from. They may not be aligned the same way you are. They might have a different point of view. And that's okay to have different points of view. But be sure, especially when it comes to subtle deceit, subtle misinformation, and narcissist people, they like to pretend like, oh, well, I was just upset, you know, they try to pass off their behaviors. Oh, well, I just didn't know. And they just try to be like really pathetic, right? But really, they know exactly what they're doing. And you have to be really careful of these people that position themselves in this authoritative, you know, light. Really think about what people are saying to you, especially if there's any kind of negative connotation involved. It's really important, and it could save you. And I'm watching everybody, because there's so many lies, so many dishonest actions that are going on behind the scenes, and they get you with your ego and with your love. You're loving and kind, and so they think you're easy, and but if they can use your gifts, talents, intelligence for any reason whatsoever, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to be copied tomorrow, you know, but this came from Treva Vale. This is who I am. And these are my thoughts. And this is the download I have for you today. I want you to realize that you, until you wake up, every single one of us, that unwittingly have helped someone else with their evil agenda, we need to stop and ask questions and to go to the source and to find out what's going on. But if our motivation is to steal and take and to not be the God-fearing people that we claim to be, then, you know, you go down with the big guys. That's just the way it is. There's nothing that can be done. It's just got to be that way. And I know in your heart, you know every word I'm saying is correct. Be aware of everyone. And, you know, now, you know, my whole thing is I give people, I'm a very loving person. I love people. I love to give, you know, I love to see them, you know, be in my world. I love to be kind and to really bond if I can, you know. But I realize that I've had to really pull back so much, because not everybody deserves that from me, because they have another problem going on inside. Maybe they don't like me because I can sing. They don't like me because, you know, I've got, you know, opportunities and money coming to me. You know, they have this picture about me to make themselves feel better about themselves. And you have to think about your own personal motivations, why you feel the way you do about people, and to really, you know, hold yourself accountable and think, you know, if I am supportive of good people and good things happening in people's lives, I am energetically opening my own life up for more opportunities for me, because I'm not blocking anybody's happiness, because I want happiness of my own. Don't you think the universe and the cosmos and Heavenly Father and everybody knows that if you are constantly pushing and hurting another individual, that energy, that behavior is going to bounce right back and hit you in the head. It just is. It may not be immediately, but it's coming. And there's nobody can stop it either. It's just going to come. You really need to stop and consider, before you decide to destroy a person's life or steal from somebody or copy somebody, that you're missing the enormous treasure that you personally are, and that you could go in and dig inside yourself and find all your gifts and talents and really focus on yourself. How can I make myself better and make myself, you know, be successful? and not, I don't need to worry about so-and-so. So-and-so, bravo. You're an example. You did something really good with your life. You were trying to strive and work hard to do something good. You know, that's all you have to do. You don't need to worry about what anybody else is doing. You are this priceless, you are priceless in the eyes of God. You have every right and reason to invest in yourself and be the best self that you can be. You don't have to worry about what that guy's doing, what she's doing, nobody. Because you are amazing all by yourself. You don't need anybody else to make you amazing. You don't need to belittle somebody to make you feel amazing, because really it just flips the table. It just puts them up higher and you're down lower because you are trying to make yourself look better than them. It just, you know, these are things we all learned in kindergarten, people. And it's just, you know, I'm just saying things that are as plain as the nose on our faces. And I'm just asking you to please really think about it. You know, I'm offering you what I know, what the wisdom that I have seen in the situation, but it's bigger than just, you know, it starts with us, yes, but we really need to see this peripherally, because this is happening to us as a nation and as a world. We are being preyed upon. Every idea, every thought, everything that we have, we are being preyed upon, because if we're not up here where we're in power, then we are pawns. And it doesn't matter if you're making good money, you're still a pawn. Okay? And so we really need to be very careful of what we're buying into. Okay? Be really sure. Be really prayerful. Really think hard before we go off and do something that we're going to regret. Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate it. And I do hope you have a wonderful day, that you have a safe day, and that you really consider the information, no matter the source. I pick and choose. I don't just go for the whole, everything everybody says. I can, when I hear the truth, I know what the truth is, you know, and you can too. You can have that wisdom just to hear it. If you hear something and I mean, all of us can be tricked, but if you hear something, really think about it. Get some information. Do your homework. Take care, everybody, and God bless you. Thank you.